rules for kayak fishing tournaments have been all the talk lately. Number one has been the talk of defined launches or hard boundaries for the waters we fish. Check out this latest clip from the Kayak Bass Nation podcast. Let me know your thoughts in the comments on hard boundaries or defined launches.
But yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And a lot of people don't realize this. I still credit Duke to this day for saving the TOC, and it became what it is today. So there you go. Well done, Duke. well done. So yeah, man, let's just jump right into it. You guys have watched. You may or may not have saw the show we did on the rules with our angler panel with Jay and Jordan, and then Lambert was on here. We talked about some of those rules. We put up some polls on the group page, and then of course you've probably seen the multiple threads about the different things people think need to be changed. So starting off, it seemed like the big talk lately is boundaries / launch locations. So we can go around the horn and tell us what your org does to mitigate or regulate boundaries / launch locations, if they do anything. So Vinny, tell us what's up over in the Carolinas.
I feel like we may become the norm.
Okay.
We've had a ramp list, I want to say from day one, 9 years ago. So I've never ever typed all public access for an event. That drives me nuts as an angler and a director. I think that leaves a lot of stuff up to interpretation and how much you're willing to bend the rules. If you're staying public to get to your public launch, that's a big thing. But we've had a ramp list for years, 8 years. We just started doing maps either this year or last year. I can't remember, but I started making Google Maps, very similar to the one you see for the Hobie TOC. And we pin every ramp that you're allowed to use, and we ask that you check in when you get there. So pretty black and white, in my opinion.
Yeah. And has that ever any pushback on that from the anglers? They like that?
Everybody likes it. There's always people who are going to complain, obviously. The biggest complaint, I guess, would be if we, by accident, forget a ramp and we already say the list is closed, and they want me to add that ramp. I don't like adding it once our promotion for that event has started. I think usually I like a hard cutoff in the beginning of the year. Hey, this is the list. This is what we're going to roll with for the year. But sometimes stuff happens. You guys mentioned it last week or 2 weeks ago. If a campground closes or a new ramp is built and it opens up, it would be stupid on my part to not address that and correct that. I'm not trying to make it harder on the angler. I want every ramp open that is legal access. That's what people don't understand sometimes. They're like, well, why didn't you add this one? Well, you had 8 months to tell me that it wasn't on the list, and you waited until Friday before the event to tell me it wasn't on the list. So what we do, and some people may disagree with this, but come January, I'll make a list. I'll publicize the list that we're going to use, and it's open for discussion. Hey, if there's something I forgot, let me know. We'll get it added now.
Okay, I like that. Josh, we'll just go is that clockwise, counterclockwise? I don't know. Josh, what does MOYAC All-American Series do? Do they mirror each other, both orgs?
Yeah, we both do. Basically, yeah, they're the same rules for boundaries. What I go by is the Army Corps of Engineers designated boundary for that lake. Sometimes it's not easy to find those maps online, but once I get the map, it's got the whole boundary of the lake outlined. And so we just allow anybody to launch within that boundary as long as they're out of public access. And then once they've launched, if they want to go up a creek or somewhere farther, they can take off and go as far up as they want, as long as they don't portage over dry land, but they have to come back and take out inbounds again. So, that kind of eliminates the people going 30 miles up a creek because you got to come back to take back out again. But if you want to go up, what I'm saying, you crossed out those boundary markings. As long as you launch inbounds and take out inbounds, then you can go anywhere you can paddle to. That's our rule.
Okay, I like that. And in Texas, Duke, what do you guys do down there?
Yeah, we similar to what MOYAC and them do. They you have to launch within the boundary, and it's usually if you launch within, like, if we know people can fish those creeks, as long as you can launch from main body of water and paddle up, you should be good. But there are some but it changes per lake. We have some lakes that are part of river streams, so you actually have to make a hard boundary and say, hey, look, you cannot go past this point because you can go all the way to the next lake if you really wanted to, which you really don't want people to do. So we do have a hard boundary on some lakes. You do have to do a little bit of leg work, you know, and just tell them you can't go up past this point.
Yeah.
So just as a prime example, Clarks Hill, that's where our TOC is this year, South Carolina, Georgia border. I don't know that body of water at all. Never been there, never even seen it. Reached out to a local angler. He's part of the club. Not only did he get me every address of every public ramp, but when I had his information, it took me 10 minutes to make.
Here, let me see that. There we go.
Just to make that. I mean, and then you send that to every angler. He's got, not only does he have every ramp, if you can see the orange pin in the middle, that's the weigh-in location, that's the venue. And he can have this link. He can scroll, zoom, change it to satellite. So he can literally, I keep saying he, but he or she can plan their trip around your map. I mean, I'm doing it right now on Caddo. You know, I've never seen this place. So I can work right off this if I'm looking for creeks or I'm looking for points or I'm looking for backwaters. So you're not only keeping the sport more standardized, but you're helping your angler. And I think as a director, that's part of your job and something you want to do. My 2 cents.
Yeah. I think, you know, you throw out the word trying to level the playing field, you know, try to level the playing field. And people hear that and they think, you're just knocking on guys that are winning too much or they're going too far. And I don't think that's the case at all. I think you said it right there, Vinny. We're trying to standardize some of these things that can be standardized. You can't standardize lures and rods and kayak brands and those things, but time on the water, where you can fish, where you can launch, those kind of things can easily be standardized, I think.
There you have it, guys. Defined launches, hard boundaries on lakes we're going to fish for these big national tournaments or maybe even local tournaments. Let me know what you think of that possible rule change for some organizations in the comments.